This is a short video in which I will try to deal delicately but honestly with a little discussed hiking issue, chafing. There are certain areas of the body, namely where the limbs terminate, where friction combined with heat, sweat, and trail dust can cause uncomfortable irritation. I'm heading out hiking in a few days for a 12 to 14-hour hike with temperatures ranging from 60 to 103 degrees. That's 16C to 39C, which makes chafing a concern, which is what brought this issue to mind. There are two major routes to deal with this, creams and powders, which I'll deal with in a minute. But first there's an underlying strategy, and that is breathable, comfortable clothing. Now, I'm from a generation that labeled women's undergarments ladies' unmentionables, so I will not hazard any comment on them, and I'll reserve a brief comment on men's undergarments for the end of this video, so those who have no interest in that can skip it. The issue of chafing can be reduced, if not completely eliminated, by wearing comfortable, breathable clothes. For example, on my most recent hot weather hike, I had no issue whatsoever because I wore a very light and loose pair of shorts and a large, untucked t-shirt. When it comes to clothes on a hike, my advice is to stick with what's tried and true. The combination I wear is an oversized nylon running short plus a well-worn cotton t-shirt. Now, I know cotton is highly disfavored, but it works for me. I've tried synthetics, for example, something like this, and it has, one would think, face value with multiple small holes in it. But on me, those holes acted like sandpaper on my body, defeating any gain I got in ventilation. So once again, for clothing, I recommend go with what you know. Alternatively, it seems many women like a very tight but thin legging, which I guess are being called yoga pants now. Loose clothes work for me, but you should just go with whatever works for you. Now, the two main ways of dealing with chafing are creams and powders. Creams are by far the more popular, and Vaseline or petroleum jelly is the least expensive and the most popular. Marathon runners have a lot of experience in this area, and you can look to their blogs and magazines for recommendations. There are variations on this theme, including specific body glide products, baby ointments like Desitin or a knockoff brand like this one from Walmart. And please feel free to endorse your favorite product in the comments. For those of you who prefer creams and like to pack very lightly when you hike, there are very, very small containers of Vaseline. This one is a lip balm that you could bring with you with minimal weight gain for emergency situations. Personally, I take the powder route, a sort of a dry lubricant. I just don't like the idea of melting Vaseline running down my legs on a hot day. Powders are generally based on cornstarch, which you can buy inexpensively directly at the grocery store. And then there's cornstarch baby powders, and then there are talc products. Please be aware that talc has been implicated in causing cancer, particularly among women, and has been largely pulled from the US market. Liability for injury caused by talc has caused one of Johnson & Johnson's subsidiary businesses to file bankruptcy, and they pulled all talc products worldwide from production. But with that said, you can still get talc baby powder from international sources on Amazon if you wish to take the risk. There are also other internationally based talc products like this one from India. I gave it a try, but the scent was way too strong for me. I bought a small baby powder container in the travel section of the store that can be popped open and refilled with a funnel 1/4 of the way in case I need to resort to additional protection on an irritating hike. This allows you to have the container but keep the weight light. There are numerous variations on powders, for example, the rather directly named anti-monkey butt, which contains both talc and calamine. I've tried this, but I don't particularly endorse it. Another product that deals with issues directly instead of delicately is named Squirrel's Nut Butter. And they feature a Grand Canyon trail runner in their ad, which I find interesting, and that one falls in the cream category. On a personal basis, I am subject to athlete's foot, which is not that big a deal on a day hike, but it can become a problem on a multi-day hike. And as I've aged, the same fungus can become an issue on other parts of the body, sometimes called jock itch among men, and it can even grow under the arms. Before I hike, I sprinkle a bit of medicated athlete's foot powder. This one is cornstarch based, under my arms and on other friction areas to guard against any fungal growth. A final strategy, other than clothes, is you can try an antiperspirant. For example, on your lower back, if that's an area that sweats a lot on a hike. So that's my basic experience with chafing while hiking. Now, as a person who grew up with gender-segregated gym classes and health classes, boys and girls got separate lessons, I'll comment here at the end briefly on men's undergarments. First, for hot weather hikes, I rely on these oversized nylon running shorts, which have a very thin and loose liner, which is adequate for protecting one's modesty in public. I also wear the same shorts as an undergarment in transitional weather, taking off the pants as the weather warms up and just wearing the shorts for the rest of the hike. The oversized nature of these shorts also allows for quick and easy rest stops. On a hike where I wear long pants all day, I've tried wearing boxer shorts, but they bunched up, especially on the uphill portions. So although they would appear to allow better airflow, they do not work out for me. If I had the choice between boxer shorts and nothing, I would wear nothing, which is an option. There's also an option of athletic supporters, commonly called jock straps. Personally, I think the thick waistband would be an issue for me, but they do have a lot of ventilation on the backside if that is an issue for you. Jockey shorts are effective, especially as the weather cools. However, I rarely wear them, as when it gets cold, I go with long johns. I've tried long johns with both jockey shorts underneath and nothing underneath, and I've settled on long johns with nothing else. This allows for more convenient rest breaks. One thing I do recommend with the long johns is a working fly. Here's an example of long johns that do not have a working fly, something I don't recommend. Alternatively, here's an example of long johns which do have a working fly. That's a particularly nice option to have, especially, for example, if you're holding hiking poles in one hand when you're taking a rest break. I hope I've been adequately delicate in talking about these issues and I haven't offended anyone. I'm approaching this issue not as an expert, but simply doing some peer-to-peer sharing of my personal experiences. And I'm always looking to learn, so I invite you to put your strategies in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching. Here is a different style of long johns, which do have a working fly.